Hey, what's up? This is Knowledge Cipher Born, author of 109. You're checking out Hood News with Hassan Hayes all day.
What's going on, y'all? This is Hassan Hayes with Hood News. And today we're here with the poet and the author of 109, Mr. Larry Wiggs. How you doing, Mr. Larry Wiggs?
Hassan, I'm great, man.
Okay, tell us about your book, 109.
Okay. This book was written in 2019, and the topic or the theme of the book comes from a poem that I wrote, and that poem came to me. You know, I tried to be a poet. I tried to write raps when I was in high school, and Hassan, you know, that wasn't me. That wasn't my thing. I wasn't as dope as I would like to be, and so I just didn't try to be a rapper. Didn't try to write poems. And in 2019, I found that it was very easy for me to write this poem for some reason. And the verses, you know, the stanzas just came to me, and I put everything together, and I'm telling a story. And that's how 109 came about, 109. Now, the title 109 is a reference to my birthday, 10 October, the 10th month, and 9, the 9th day, so October 9th. So
109, does it have any numerology aspects to it? Does it have a deeper meaning than just the surface?
109 has references to spirituality, numerology, African history, and all of these things that I'm mentioning in 109 are things that I recently learned about, because I wasn't educated on a lot of the history, a lot of the numerology, a lot of the spirituality. So 109 it's a journey. It's my journey of, knowledge of self, of me gaining knowledge of self. It's the result of that. And with regard to numerology, my name is Larry Wiggs, but I also call myself Knowledge Cipher Born. And this is because I learned about the nation of gods and earths recently. And their numerological breakdown of numbers says that number one is the quality of knowledge, all right? And the 0 is the cipher, and the number 9 is born. So I think that it's really unique that my birthday and the nation of gods and earths definitions of these numbers, sort of match, because it is my birthday and I have, knowledge cipher and born, so it really resonates with me. And again, this is something that I learned recently. Now, numerology, if you do a Google search, you can find that 109 is an angel number. That's what they say, of course. And because I wasn't educated in astrology, astronomy, numerology, and spirituality, I didn't pay attention to any of these things, only until recently. And that's because I've been seeing these numbers everywhere. So,
What did you go through in your life where you said, I have to make a published work?
Wow. I don't think that I ever said that I was going to do this. I didn't set out, to do it. It was something that did come to me. And let's see, the first time I was challenged with putting together a published work was with my aunt. And my aunt was Florence Griffith Joyner, Olympic gold medalist. And I think either my mom or my aunt asked me to write her autobiography. And I was, very young at that time, but I was challenged with that task, but I didn't follow through. It never came to fruition. I think I'm a decent writer, and writing is something that I would have eventually gotten into. But the circumstances, such as they were in 2019, really drew my attention to 109, and it just evolved. It just came out of me, all of this. So, and now I'm published.
Talk about your early beginnings in the arts, and also talk about what you've been through.
So I grew up in LA, LA born and raised, and this is actually the home where I grew up. And I think we moved from here, from 54th Street to Baldwin Vista in the Baldwin Hills area. We moved there when I was about 7 years old. And my mom and dad sent my sister and I to a private school. And my mom and dad graduated from UCLA, and my aunt, did her thing in the Olympics. So LA born and raised, California has always been my home, and I went to Cal Poly Pomona for my education, and I think I was better prepared to study English. And I did the wildest thing, which was I switched gears and I studied finance, which is heavy, it's intense with math, with regards to math. And I wasn't prepared for that. But I was trying to, as they say, get to the bag, I was trying to figure out, how do I make this money, okay? And I thought finance was the way. And yeah, it kicked my butt. I spent 7 years, trying to get my degree, which I'm okay to say because I finished what I started, but it took me much longer than it's supposed to, But it was a learning process, and let's see, around 2004, I graduated, and I was trying to work in LA, and I was finding it extremely difficult to find the American dream. I was looking for that, and it wasn't coming to me. And between 2004, when I graduated, till 2007, I struggled. But then in 2007, I left the country, and I moved to South Korea. South Korea was my saving grace because in Los Angeles, I didn't have a job. I didn't have a salary. I didn't, I had to pay for my rent. And when I got to South Korea, I didn't have to pay rent. I had a job. I was earning money. And it was like, just be, rather than struggle to be something. It was like, just be who you are. Yeah.
What influence did LA have on that book? Is there a particular influence you want to mention that had that helped you or that inspired you for 109?
Well, the story of 109, I try not to mention, I try not to play up the part that Nipsey had in the making of 109, but his, who he was and his story really influenced this book, all right? And LA is in me. So when this poem came to me and when events occurred here in Los Angeles, basically those events affected me even though I was thousands of miles away. I was like, whoa, that's my hometown. This is a city. This is something affecting the entire city. I'm speaking of Nipsey's passing here. And yeah, I mentioned it in the book how I was homesick in that moment. I had never been homesick. I spent 12 years of my life abroad. And in 2019, that was it. And I said, I need to get home. I need to be closer to my family. And so I returned to Los Angeles, my home, which is my base. And all of my travels over the last 12 years have, turned me into a made me a better person, after seeing the world and after learning, languages, and it's given me a different perspective. I don't just see a person for who they represent themselves to be in Los Angeles. I see who that person is from a global perspective. So.
Why should people read and purchase 109?
Right. Well, 109, first off, it's a short read. All right, it's a short book. And I understand that today we're inundated with social media and our attention, ADHD, it's everywhere. Well, I take my readers on a short journey. And in fact, I would really like my readers to read my poem, right? Because the poem is a journey through my personal experiences, but also historic events. And for those who are hip, for those who are aware, I think they're really gonna dig it and say, oh, okay, I see what this brother is talking about. But, and for those who aren't aware, pick it up anyway, because it's gonna start you on a journey of learning that eventually it's gonna pay off. You're gonna see the value in it, right? I'm speaking from experience because in 1994, when Diggable Planets released their records, they were talking about things that just went over my head. And I kid you not, just a couple of weeks ago, I got something that they said, in 1994. I was like, that's what he said? Really? Is that what he said 20 some years ago? But I've been a fan of Diggable Planets, forever. And you know what? They're members of the Nation of Gods and Earths too. And there's a level of consciousness. There are people in different circles and they have the knowledge. They know these things. And it's only when you start entering those circles and you step outside of your comfort zone and you get into those areas that you get exposed to that information. And so 109 is a reflection of me, of my journey of being exposed to these circles of knowledge, these ciphers, ciphers of knowledge,
Could you give the people a little known fact about Larry? Did Larry play in any movies? A little known fact about Larry Wiggs. Go ahead.
Yes. All right. I'm Larry Wiggs. I also go by Knowledge Cipher Born. All right. That's my new title. But, in 1992 and 1993, people were calling me Kung Fu Master Larry because Kung Fu Master Larry was my character's name in Robert Townsend's movie, The Meteor Man. And so you can check that out. Absolutely go check that movie out. That was a great movie for the ages, positive, powerful, uplifting. So I'm also Kung Fu Master Larry.
All right, give the people your social medias where they can find you and where they can purchase the book.
All right, 109 is available on ic109.com. All right, that's I and C, S-E-E, 109.com. I also have apparel at ic109.store. All right. And on Twitter and other social media outlets, my handle is LACALAW2. LA because that's where we are. CA, this is California. My initials, LAW. And I'm the second. So, LAW2.